Bookmarked with Lee on Good Morning Bangalore.
In a nutshell, Onestop is basically talking about super apps, right? So, what are the other themes that you cover in this book? What can we expect when we read this book? What will we be introduced into?
I'm glad you asked that, Lee, because I was a former diplomat. I'm a lawyer by training, and I've worked with regulators in ASEAN, in the Pacific Ocean, and in Europe. So the book, of course, is through my lens on working with the regulators, with the private sector to identify what really works in the legal nuance and the regulatory world, because we talk about data protection. So there's one chapter dedicated to how data is being used, and just the sharp contrast of how our relationship is with money. Like you said, perhaps you don't have a wallet now because your wallet is your phone, right? There's no hard cash on you.
No.
I was based in Fiji Islands recently. I made missions to Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, and I'm not kidding you, Lee, when I say people queue there on a Friday evening after work. They come to the main island of Honiara in Solomon Islands and queue up for hours to get money from the teller machine.
Wow.
In Papua New Guinea, the money is thrown through a helicopter in the remotest of villages.
Wow.
So we are talking about a transformation which has happened in countries like India, China, Singapore, but a lot of these countries are still lagging behind. So how can these apps could be used in that context? So there's a chapter that particularly focuses on the East versus West. Because I'm going to tell you bluntly, Lee, that there are not any super apps in the Western market. And that's purely because they have specialized apps and they don't feel the need to have a super app because they feel the data is being given away and they're very shy of sharing the data. So the Western example could be fascinating because let's say if we both are friends on Facebook, we want to chat with each other. I have to download Facebook Messenger to speak to you.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
If we like each other, we want to take the conversation forward. I will take your WhatsApp number and then I'll chat with you on WhatsApp. Right? And then if I want to send you money, I'm not going to use WhatsApp Pay. I will perhaps use Paytm or PhonePe, then send you the screenshot on WhatsApp. Right? There are multiple apps coming from the Western world because they don't want to integrate these services, which Super App does. Why is that? In our world, we can perhaps just use everything under one umbrella. So the conflict between the Eastern and the Western world. And then lastly, the book also has interviews by the regulator from Cambodia Central Bank. And then there is a dear friend of mine who's actually from Bangalore, Faninder Sama. He's the co-founder of Redbus. We studied together in College London. And now he wears the hat of a venture capitalist. So through his lens, how does he look at these apps? Is he going to bet his money on these apps, or he thinks it's not something we will be talking about in the near future? Because Elon Musk says he wants Twitter or
X to become a super app. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So is it just a fad or it's here to stay? So the last chapter talks about the temporary or the permanent nature of these apps. So there are interviews by these people who really represent the entire stakeholders of the apps and how they look at these apps. So I think hopefully the first part is the literature and the last part is very candid discussion from people who have just poured their heart talking about their bad experiences, their good experiences, and they are the regulators, investors, and the founders, like I said, PhonePe and whatnot.
I think it's a very important book to have a discussion on as well, and open up that debate on technology ruling our lives, because it is. You can't shy away from this right now. We are hooked onto it. It's going to be there. It's not going anywhere for a very, very long time. So to how do we integrate it properly and very smartly into our lives is a very good topic of conversation, and I'm so glad you brought this up with your book Onestop. I also want to talk to you more about femtech partners. Can you just be a little bit more about what femtech partners do, what you guys are into, and what is femtech partners basically?
Yeah, Lee, if I can just give you a precursor to why femtech partners.
Yeah.
When I go for the book signing, I haven't done many. I've just been in Delhi for the last couple of months. So I did some events where I was signing books. And when I came back home, I was showing pictures to my mom and she said, "Oh, where are the women? Women don't buy your books. You don't have any pictures with girls, women." And it never occurred to me. You know why? Because I've all my career worked with men. I am the only woman sitting on the stage giving a presentation. I'm sometimes the only woman in the room networking. So it's just become second nature to me to not even think about it. But when my mom said that to me, I said, yeah, because don't you know, not many women work in tech, so they don't really need to buy the book because they don't relate to it.
Right.
But at the same time, do I like this? No. I would like that to be changed. So I'm originally from Delhi, but most of my career has been in Singapore. And I realized that I've been super fortunate to work in a country that gives a level playing field. I was never judged based on my color, my race, or anything. It's just about what you bring to the table. So I thought I want to help those who want to start a career in fintech. So I called the organization femtech, female fintech, to represent world's 50% point of view, which is women, how they look at things. I have spoken about how the book talks about those who are underbanked. And most of the work that I've done since I started Femtech Partners in 2019 in Singapore, it's registered there. It's about how we can use technology as a force of good, so that we can help and empower women who are small business owners, who are upcoming entrepreneurs, and they can go from offline to online. Because let's be honestly, COVID has taught us if we cannot go online, something is seriously wrong with us.
True.
We've got to have presence online. Whether we want to take our business on e-commerce site, whether we should be able to get payments digitally, all that is very important. And you have to sell yourself in this market on these different social media channels. So that's number one, how we can help these small women entrepreneurs go offline to online. And then the other part is the pro bono mentorship that I do, that others do with me, as to how we can help young women in STEM find career opportunities, not only in femtech, but generally in the tech sector in ASEAN and across the globe.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. Thank you so much for doing this, and taking a step forward as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing so much more from Femtech Partners, and especially you in the forefront. I think it's going to be amazing. Any parting words to our listeners this morning? Tell them why they should buy Onestop and read this book.
I think I would just say, if you are curious about how our world is going to look in 2030, because according to a survey, world's 50% population would be using one or more super apps. So this trend is here to stay. As they say, when a great idea is given the right amount of execution, that's the Achilles heel, we are able to see that idea thrive. And super apps are going in that direction rapidly. So once they surround us, you will wonder, how come I was living without these super apps? Right? Because that's the convenience of it. It's like a Swiss Army knife. So if you're wondering about what we are using day in, day out, how does it really work? How was it started from one feature to 3 million features? I think this book is for you, and it's an easy read. It's not something that will make you feel like it's a technologically driven jargons. So I think it's going to be a fun read, especially the interviews, because those people have really made some candid remarks, and my editor was really nice at Penguin to give it a go.
Amazing. Neha Mehta on the show this morning. She's the founder and CEO of Femtech Partners. Her book is called Onestop. It's out everywhere. And if you want a book from my side right now, you can get it. Just text in Onestop to my WhatsApp number. That is Onestop to 8880-943-943. All right. Text that in right now, and you can get yourself a signed copy from myself. All right. Neha Mehta, thank you so much for this lovely talk this morning, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from Femtech Partners, I mentioned. And once the book comes in, I'm going to read it cover to cover and let you know my thoughts as well. And hopefully we'll have another discussion on that.
Thank you so much, Lee. This was a pleasure, and I am so glad that I could do this for your audience.
Yes.
These are the people based in Bangalore, so they are the tech people of the country, world. So this is the right spot. And again, I'm going to try my hand at Kannada. I'm going to try. Yeah, I don't give up. So, dhanyavada Galu, and Mata Siguna. Thank you so much.
Dhanyavada, thank you so much. Yes, perfect, amazing. All right.